Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is more likely to talk big about his dreams than actually achieve them. While he sounds confident and makes everything sound possible, he doesn't put in the real effort or discipline required to get ahead at work. He may change jobs often or lose interest quickly when things get difficult.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he won't break down or show much emotion. He's able to keep calm, but instead of bouncing back with renewed effort, he will likely just pull away and lose interest. Don't expect him to fight hard to fix problems or learn from mistakes. He's more likely to quietly step back or even give up without much fuss.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
He's not likely to get into loud fights or big arguments at work, but he also isn't well liked or respected. He doesn't go out of his way to be kind or helpful, and he can come across as blunt or even rude. If you want a partner who is valued and liked by others, he is not the one who brings people together.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he's unlikely to feel proud or even deeply insecure. He will mostly just detach and not show strong feelings either way. Since he doesn't put much value on hard work or achievement, your success won't bother him, but it also won't excite him. You might find him uninterested or unresponsive, which can feel lonely if you're hoping for celebration or support.
What if you start earning more than him?
He isn't likely to secretly resent you or feel insecure if you earn more than him. Truthfully, it probably won't matter much to him at all. He doesn't place a lot of importance on financial success, whether it's his or yours.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He isn't careful with money, but he isn't wildly wasteful either. He just doesn't pay much attention. Bills, savings, or planning for the future aren't things he thinks deeply about. So he might forget to pay something important, spend on things in the moment, or ignore financial goals altogether.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He doesn't really pretend to be richer than he is, but he also isn't careful about living within his means. Most of the time, he just drifts along, not thinking much about what he can or cannot afford. You won't see him putting on a false show of wealth, but you also won't see him planning or saving for the future.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He is neither open handed nor especially tight. He simply isn't very thoughtful about kindness or generosity. He isn't the type to go out of his way to help or support others, either with money or with a caring attitude. At the same time, he won't go to extreme lengths to save or hoard either.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He isn't likely to be secretive or controlling about money, but he also isn't open in a way that builds trust and teamwork. Mostly, he just doesn't pay much attention. You won't catch him hiding things on purpose, but he also won't keep you fully informed or involved.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He's unlikely to strongly insist that housework is only your job, but you shouldn't expect much help from him either. Truthfully, he probably won't pay much attention or take responsibility for chores unless you keep reminding him. Most of the time, he'll leave things for you to handle and might not even notice when something needs doing.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He's unlikely to roll up his sleeves and actually help with chores or diapers. Most of the time, he'll either keep to himself or sit on the sidelines, maybe offering a few words but not real action. He won't argue much or act bossy, but you'll notice that most of the real work lands in your hands.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He won't usually argue or try to prove he's right, but he also won't put effort into understanding your side. Instead, he tends to keep his distance or quietly shut down when there's a disagreement. He doesn't create big fights, but he also doesn't work to solve problems or connect with your feelings.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he isn't likely to shout, say hurtful things, or act aggressive. Instead, he usually shuts down and keeps his feelings to himself. He might go quiet, give you the cold shoulder, or walk away from the situation rather than facing it head on.
Does he have a bad temper?
No, he isn't the type to get angry very quickly. He tends to keep his feelings inside and doesn't show much emotion, even when things go wrong. It's important to ask yourself if you're okay living with someone who often turns away instead of facing issues together.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He rarely blames you outright, but he also isn't quick to say sorry or take real responsibility. Most of the time, he will quietly step back, avoid facing the issue, or act as though nothing happened. You may notice that meaningful apologies and honest talks about mistakes are missing from your relationship.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
Yes, he is likely to respect your boundaries and understand that no means no. He doesn't push hard or become forceful when you set limits, as he tends to keep to himself rather than argue or insist on his way. You'll get your space, but you may still feel on your own emotionally.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
No, he doesn't usually take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. He's not the type to sulk, argue, or make you feel guilty about it. Instead, he will likely just accept it quietly and give you space without much reaction.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him not to use private moments to hurt or embarrass you later. He isn't the type to hold things over your head, gossip, or bring up personal details in a hurtful way. Your secrets and vulnerable moments are safe with him, even if you wish for deeper care and closeness.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is likely to keep to himself and not actively chase after other women. His energy isn't focused on seeking new attention or excitement elsewhere, and he's not the type to be openly flirtatious or social. While he may be emotionally distant at times, you don't have to worry much about him being unfaithful.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
No, he is not over possessive or controlling. He rarely acts jealous, doesn't watch your every move, or ask many questions about where you go and who you talk to. He tends to keep to himself and doesn't put much energy into controlling or claiming you.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protective side isn't likely to be a cover for a controlling personality. He doesn't go out of his way to watch over you, set rules, or limit your freedom. You won't feel smothered or controlled by him.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He will most likely expect you to do most of the work without really saying so. He doesn't see parenting as a shared effort and won't take much initiative with the children or household responsibilities. Unless you insist or keep reminding him, he'll let you handle things on your own.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he will usually stay calm and not lose his temper. He doesn't get easily rattled or raise his voice, and he isn't quick to show anger. His calmness can feel like indifference, leaving you to handle emotional moments on your own.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He probably won't stand in your way or try to control your choices, but he also won't go out of his way to support you as a mother or as your own person. You'll have the freedom to be yourself and manage your life. But he isn't the type to cheer you on, help lighten your load, or show deep appreciation for all you do. His lack of involvement can leave you feeling like you're handling everything alone, both at home and in your personal growth.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later after kids and marriage change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
No, he's not the type to secretly support your career now and later pressure you to quit after you have a child. He doesn't have strong opinions or plans about your work life. He's mostly detached and lets you make your own choices. You'll have freedom, but you may miss a feeling of teamwork and shared dreams.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is most likely to act polite on the surface, but not show real warmth to your parents. He'll do what's necessary to avoid problems like offering greetings or making small talk, but he won't put in much effort to build a genuine connection or show deep care. His interactions will probably feel a bit distant or formal rather than loving or enthusiastic. He's unlikely to actively adjust to your family or put in the effort to fit in.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he will usually handle it calmly by keeping his distance or staying quiet. He isn't the type to make a scene, argue, or add fuel to the fire. Instead, he'll likely step back and let things play out, leaving you to manage the situation.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you, but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
No, he isn't likely to expect you to suddenly become a traditional, supportive wife in front of his relatives. He usually doesn't pay much attention to such roles or social expectations, and he won't pressure you to change how you behave just for appearances. You'll be left to handle things your own way without much input or interference from him.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he will most likely stay out of it rather than support you or take sides with his family. He tends to avoid getting involved in family conflicts and keeps a low profile during arguments or uncomfortable situations. You shouldn't expect him to openly defend you or act as your ally when things get tough.
Say you have a conflict with his mother, what will this guy do?
He isn't really a mummy's boy, but that doesn't mean he will take your side in a conflict with his mother. In reality, he is more likely to stay out of the situation completely, not wanting to get involved with either side. He avoids tension and finds it easier to keep quiet or leave the room when problems come up.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
No, he isn't the type to share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He tends to keep personal matters to himself and doesn't reach out to others for advice or to vent. But you won't have to worry about your personal matters becoming family gossip.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Day in and day out, being with this man often feels like living with a quiet roommate rather than a true life partner. You'll have plenty of personal space and freedom. He won't interfere, judge, or control you, but he also won't step up to share your load, celebrate your wins, or comfort you during hard times.